Let's create an app inside Google AI Studio. Go to aistudio.google.com/apps. It says build your ideas with Gemini, describe your idea, create an app where I can input text on a singular data point, and the app, based on that data point, will create a visualization of that data in the style of a minimalist dark mode circular graph. All I'm telling it to do is take this data point, make a circular graph based on that data point. Once you're done putting the first prompt in here, I'm going to click build. This may take 1 or 2 minutes, but as you can see, it's already thinking and coding and all of those things down here. It's done, as you can see. It took less than a minute. Here it says minimalist natural language data visualizer. Input a factor data point below to generate a pulse visualization. Let's try it. So what I'm going to say, only 1% of users on LinkedIn create content weekly. And then I'm going to click visualize. We'll see what the output is. And dang, that's pretty good. It understood what I want. What this tells me is that I don't have to go back to Google AI Studio and start with a different prompt. I can work with this. To verify that 1000%, what I'm going to do is put in 3 more data points and just see how it reacts to the different data points, because I want to be able to see more than just one output before I start requesting changes. 0.004% of business owners go live consistently. An extremely small fraction of business owners maintain a consistent live presence. The second output is good. What this iterates for me, though, is whatever this header is here, I want to get rid of. Since I want to get rid of this header right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, get rid of the header that sits above the percentage number. I'm going to say get rid of the header that sits above the percentage number. For example, in the recent output, it said business live consistency, and then I'm just going to click up. So whenever you ask for the changes, I like to ask for one change at a time, and then this is where you prompt it. So you don't need to be a coder, because it's building all the code on the back end. I'll go into where that is and how you could find it. And as you could see here, it's doing the thing. When it refreshes like this, that means that it's done. So let's try that again. Only 1% of users on LinkedIn post original content weekly. Visualize. I love that. So it's already looking better. One of the things that I'm also going to say is limit the number of lines for the small text explanation that sits under the big number to 3 lines max. Make the font slightly bigger, enter. Okay. So let's try the data again. And this is really what takes time when you're building a tool for yourself or internally within your business. You need to test it. You need to test it. You need to make one change at a time, at least in the beginning, so you get a hang of it. Because if you ask for 4 things and then it starts to kind of crumble, you don't know which thing caused it to crumble. I just find that for me, it's easier to change one thing at a time. We do it again. Content weekly, visualize. And as you can see here, it's already doing it. Only a very small fraction of LinkedIn users actively produce original week. So what this tells me is that there needs to be some logic. I need to say that the 3 lines under the 1% always needs to be grammatically correct and make logical sense. I'm going to say, please improve the logic because the sentence doesn't make sense. It is missing the word content, which makes the output unprofessional. Okay, up, we're going up. Let it do its thing, and then we'll test again. All right, visualize. Only a minute portion of LinkedIn users consistently generate original content on. When it's fighting you on things like this, because the output is not correct again, so that means the logic is wrong. You can do one of 2 things. You can go here and click code. You would copy all of this, and you would copy all of this. You would give it to ChatGPT with your screenshot, and you would say, Please provide me with better code to input under the Gemini service.ts or the circular graph.tsx. Now, I will say that sometimes a lot of the other LLMs will complicate it. And then when you copy and paste whatever you put from the other LLM, it could change your app entirely. If that ever happens, this is why they have the restore button. Okay. The restore button right here and the restore button right here. I could always go back up here before I asked it to improve its logic. Another thing that I could do, which I'm going to show you how to do this just so we could test, but another easier thing that I can do is I could say in the 3 lines under the percentage number, just rewrite whatever it is that I put in the input. So first, let's try the ChatGPT way. And I want to show you that just because it's a little bit more complicated, and maybe you'll come across that when you're building your app. But I also would advise that if you could make it simple, then make it simple. Start simple. Don't try to create Facebook overnight. If I were to go the ChatGPT way, this is what I would do. I'd copy all of this. So I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm also going to copy the circular graph.tsx. Okay. Copied that as well. Then I'm going to scroll to the top and I'm going to tell it my problem. So I'm going to say, I'm building an app in Google AI Studio. I need to improve the logic of the phrase or sentence that appears under the big percentage number. See screenshot. You could always go back to your app here by clicking preview. And I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to give it to ChatGPT. Then I'm just going to click up. It will give me code that I can give it, or it will tell me what to change. And if it's telling me what to change and it's like, oh, put it here, put it there, sometimes it will say go under the Gemini TS and then under the 3rd category. I don't have time for that. I'm not a coder. So I just tell it to rewrite it from the top so I could literally just copy and paste. So you're getting a bad sentence for 2 reasons. Your model is guessing what a good 10 to 15 word sentence is and sometimes guesses wrong. You're letting it output anything as long as it's a string. So upgrade the description rules. Replace your system instruction block with something like this. Keep the rest of the schema the same. It did exactly what I just said. Right? It's giving me the system instruction, which means that when I go here and click code and I go under Gemini service TS, you see system instruction. It wants me to like copy and paste part of this. Usually if I do, there's like errors and it doesn't work. And then Google AI Studio has to fix it. So what I do is I just say, I'm not a coder. I need you to rewrite my Gemini service.ts from the top so that I could just copy and paste. I am not a coder. I need you to rewrite my Gemini service.ts from the top. It says, got it. I'm going to rewrite your Gemini service.ts. And then it says, copy and paste this over your existing file. It's going to rewrite the entire thing. What I'm going to do is just copy this. Then I'll delete the Gemini service.ts in Google AI Studio and then replace it with this. I will then test the app again with the same data point to see how it behaves differently and if those changes actually made a difference. And if it breaks everything, if it looks ugly, if it looks like a completely different app or whatever, we could always go back to the restore point. And then I could just tell it to literally rewrite the sentence that I give it under the number to make it easy. I'm going to copy this and then we'll go back here and I'm going to literally get rid of all of this and paste what ChatGPT gave me. And then I'm going to hit preview. So you know that it worked somewhat because the app is previewing. If somewhere the code didn't sync or something, it would just say error. And then here, what you could do is you could tell Gemini to fix the error. And if it can't do it after a few minutes, which it usually can, then you would go back to ChatGPT, blah, blah, blah. But let's test it. Only 1% of LinkedIn users post original content on a weekly basis. So it did fix it. Now let's just confirm with one more prompt that it definitely fixed the logic of the text post underneath. Live video broadcasts achieve an average conversion rate of 10%. So now we see that there's some problems. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this. That's why I say it's good to test. And then I'm going to tell it that there's a problem with cutting off the word. So it's telling me to go to Google AI Studio. Hold on. It's telling me to go here. And then it's telling me to make this 8 and make this 11. So it says that's the simplest. If it's still going to do it, then we have to do some other logic. So here, live video streams achieve an average conversion rate of 10% for online, and it's still not doing it. This is the thing with troubleshooting, right? This is the thing that will drive you a little bit insane. Still not working with the logic. And I changed it to 8 to 11 words. So it's telling me to do all of this. And I have no idea where it's telling me to do these things. It says, hey, if you just paste the one you're running right now, I'll rewrite it. So what you'll do is you'll go here. So again, you'll go here, you'll click code, Gemini service.ts. You'll go back here, and then it'll rewrite it. And then we'll test it. If it's still giving us a battle, I mean, this app is very simple. It's already taking too much time, but I want to show you the realness of when you're building these things, that it's not going to take 5 minutes. It does require time. And that sometimes you just have to work through these headaches back and forth, especially if you're not a coder. I'm going to copy this. It gave me the code. I'm going to go back to Gemini. I'm going to delete Gemini service.ts, paste it, and then preview. And then we'll try again. Live video converts about 10% of viewers on average. That works. Okay, so let's try another one. Post original content weekly. I love it. Okay, we'll try one more. 0.0004% or something like that of active users on social media go live daily. 0%. That's interesting. Of social media users rarely go live on a daily basis. What's awesome is that we will find little things like this where it automatically made 0.0004% just a 0, which technically it is, but I needed to showcase the number. I'm just going to tell that to Gemini. I'm going to say when a number is very small, like 0.004% or whatever, do not make the big number 0. When a number or data point is something like 0.0004%, do not round the number to 0. Put the exact number. And then I'm going to put up. But what we've realized is that it did solve the constraint of going over the circle and all of that. Try again. 0.0004% of social media users go live daily. Okay, but we have to solve for the constraint of the number now. And I won't do that here on the call. And honestly, I don't know if I would do it in general because it's such a small number that how many times am I going to have this small of a number? Not that much, but I will maybe on my own do that. In the meantime, let's add the ability to download the image and also the ability to pick a color theme. What we see here are the suggestions for the AI features. So add color theme picker, add animation on hover. What we'll do is we'll add a color theme picker and it creates the prompt itself, and then we can start prompt. So now we'll have the ability to pick the colors. And then after that, I'm going to ask for the ability to download the image. And what I can do is I could give it the size, or I could have it give me options for the sizes of download. Okay, so this is good. Here we have selecting the color themes, and then we click visualize. Now, what I would prefer is if somebody would be able to put their logo And then what could happen is that the app could represent the colors of their logo, and could also maybe even represent the font of their logo. Even if I'm going to use this internally for myself, for my clients, everyone has a different brand. And so I need to be able to upload an asset of theirs or logo. What I'll do is I'll probably even break that step down into 2 phases, where I'm going to add a logo. You just identify the main 2 colors of the logo. And then after the colors are correct, then I'll tell it to identify the font and then to put the font on the graph. Add the ability to also upload a logo for the app to identify the colors to leverage within the output. And it's doing its thing. Okay, so you see here, brand logo, use company colors. Let me upload. Okay, so we did the logo, and then we'll do 1% of active LinkedIn users create original content weekly. Visualize. And the main color in this logo is that red, so it's working. Let's add the ability to download the image. So add the ability to download the image. And then what we could do is we could see what size the image is and whatever. Then we can improve it from there. So I don't see the download button. So maybe it will appear once the image is produced. We'll just click purple and we'll say 99.9% of business owners will like this video. Subscribe. We see here that yes, save as image is there. But if I were to share this with my team, I would want it to be more intuitive. Or if I were to share this with others publicly, I would want it to be more intuitive. So I'm going to tell it when the image is done being produced, make sure the save as image button underneath it starts to glow so that users know what to do next. It starts to glow and pulsate slowly. Okay, send prompt. And all of this, like how it said data pulse and stuff, this could all be changed. It is a little bit of investment of time, but with some back and forth, within an hour, I could create an app that can do circular infographics in a way that I like. And what I could maybe do is even add 2 more styles, because once it understands this, it could be like, let's add a list of styles. And then maybe you click 1 out of 7 or whatever, and then it just boom. 99.9% of people watching this video will share it with a friend. And then we'll do green, visualize. And nearly all viewers are projected to share this content. So you see how it's pulsating now, right? That's pretty cool. I would want it a bit bigger, and I would want it to pulsate the same color as the circle. Make the save as image button bigger and make it pulsate the same color as the graph generated. And then what we'll do is we'll save as image and we'll be able to see if it works. And there are so many places where we could generate apps like this. But personally, I like to start with Google AI Studio, and I'll be doing longer lives and trainings and videos on building apps. I'll be releasing a few apps of my own in January, so stay tuned. Things that I've built that could be really, really helpful for you, especially when it comes to LinkedIn, content generation, and all of that. So here, let's try one more time. So 99.9%. We'll do purple, visualize. And you see now it's bigger. So it's one thing at a time. I could tell it to move the circle up. I could tell it to make the circle bigger. I could tell it to make it look like it was hand sketched. Again, I could add different styles or whatever, but if I spent another hour in this, I could literally create an entire app for minimalist style visuals. It's just fun. And what you're really doing also is learning how to prompt and build things so that when you go to build the big thing, you know how to do the steps one at a time. You know how to troubleshoot You know that sometimes you need to grab something and bring it to ChatGPT for help or another LLM, but you are learning a lot of the little skills along the way, which is why I said start with something simple, very one pointed, and have fun with it and make it useful, because if not, then after an hour or two, you're like, oh, that was fun, but I'll never use it. You want to create something that's simple that you will actually use. So save as image here, exporting, and it did it. So this is what it created here. I would like it to be more high definition. I would like the number to be bigger. I would like a few things changed. And then what I could do is I could eventually make it a wide image where it shows the data set, but then it also explains why this is so critical for business owners to understand so that it becomes their leverage. I could have a short explainer of why that presents an opportunity for small business owners. But the point is that if I would have just gone into it like, yes, create a circular graph, and then on the right hand side, it needs to have the explainer, it probably wouldn't have been as effective. Now, here is where you could deploy the app. Here is where you could share it. So you could actually publish the app, and I could have a link to share. Here is where I could copy the app, and then with advanced sharing permissions, I could share it with a few people that I choose via email or whatever. But again, the first step is to just start building these things.